So just officially, today's class is for shoulders. And shoulders, as I was just saying, represent the responsibility that we carry in life. They weigh us down. So as so often we start standing, feet hip width apart, lift your toes, just place them down. Press the earth away from you, and then just lift and roll your shoulders backwards. That resets your shoulders to the proper, their proper alignment. And then just breathing in, lightly turn the head to the left. Come back to the centre with the head as you breathe out, turning the head to look slightly to the right. And again, just once more to each side, breathing into the left and breathing out to the right. And then come to the centre with the head. Lift and roll the shoulders again. And then breathing in, circle the arms up. Reverse the palms, stretch. And then just release. Lower the arms back down. Lift and roll the shoulders. So the first thing is to just open your arms, hug, come slightly forward, and you'll feel this opening you out there. There, I should be more specific, shoulders, shoulder blade, upper back. And then just softly bend your knees if you need to, and just sway, hugging yourself from side to side. The chin to the chest is beginning to act on the nervous system, calming it down. But we're not going to stay here for very long. It's a very simple stretch to do any time. And then remembering which arm's on top, just come to standing up. Just open your arms, you don't have to open them wide. And then just hug with the other arm, if you remember, on top. Just come slightly forward. And then just very gently sway from side to side. And then gently come to upright and unravel the arms. Lift and roll the shoulders again. And then just very gently sway from side to side. Freeing off all energies. And then come to gently to the centre. Lift and roll the shoulders again. So these two movements are perfect shoulder health. But they're not ones we normally do, and so just they give perfect rotation to the shoulder. So I'll be interested to see how you go with this. The first one we've just done, breathing in, soften the knees, circle the arms up. If they don't go right up, then just where works for you. Reverse the palms, and then just circle the arms down. I'm going to do this a couple of times. Soften the knees, circle the arms up, clasp and reverse. So this is yoga, but you'll also find this in the opening sequence of Qigong. So in an ideal yoga world, if you were really targeting shoulders, you would do this about 10 times. But I do recognise that there might be a point that you might have had enough. So a number of times to suit you. And then we go to the second part, and we'll do less of those because it's slightly harder. We start off in the same way, arms up and reverse. Then breathing out, bring the arms gently to parallel to the ground. Bend at the elbows to soften the shoulders and open out as little or as much as you would like. Bring the arms back to the centre and then reverse them up again. It's much more involved. Breathing out, lower the arms. Bend the elbows as you open out. Bring the arms back, clasp and reverse. And we're going to make this next one the last one because your shoulders can quite easily get tired. But again, if you were looking for perfection, you would do each movement 10 times. And then just slightly go from side to side. And then breathing out, lower your arms back down alongside you. Your arms might ache a little bit. No, just lift and roll your shoulders. Just ease out. And then just roll them forward a couple of times. Across the chest.
Very sore.
Okay, and then just sift and let and go back. So sore here, what's there? Anywhere else in the respiratory?
No,
Just muscles.
here, on the below shoulders.
Okay. So there is another aspect because we're all interconnected. The shoulders represent responsibility, but just across here, you're coming into your lungs. And lungs represent emotion too, so the emotional aspect of lungs is grief or sadness on some level. So, but it could just simply be that you've had a bug, that you're stiff, you've moved, been in driving too long, you've just strained or stretched. So just bring your fingertips to here and just tap. Just it's where the shoulder joins here. There are 2 acupressure points. And this connects into the vitality of life. And tapping sets up a vibration, and the vibration is movement. It's the opposite of being static. And so it can be really helpful to get energy to flow. And then just release. And just let that go. And just come then to stand and notice how you're feeling. And then this is also shoulders. Just bring your fingertips to the collarbone. And breathing in, only open your hands as far as you want to. So it might be here or it might be right out, but just bring them back. And breathing in and back. So again, all these exercises you would do for between 3 and 5 times as a minimal, or 5 to 10 times. But you can overdo it, so I'm just going to keep this quite low key. This is quite simple. And the next stage to this, just resting your fingers here and just circling your elbows, and that circle can be tiny. Or if you were being super mindful, you put your elbows together and make the circle hugely wider. And you can feel that this is opening you out at the back, where you said on the upper and down at the thoracic level. And just very gently lift and roll back. Now, the other aspect here is whether you had any bug or any kind of respiratory recovery or something like that, because that can make you okay. And then just last one, release. And then just release your arms. Just shake your shoulders, then just shake your hands. And just wanted to give your shoulders a slight rest. So we're going to do something totally different before we come back to anything else and come to that. So this is balance, this is gait. So I'm going to suggest, it doesn't matter which foot, but let's start with the left foot. Come to the right. You can put your left foot out more. So as you begin to rock forwards and backwards, you can keep your foot connected to the ground, but you'll notice that you're beginning to connect your foot to the ground fully. So this is the beginning of balance and how we should be walking, engaging the whole foot. And this is not new, but a concept that's been highlighted by a yoga teacher who has been involved with choreography of the dance school at L'Atelier, it's a music school, L'Atelier Lava Conservatoire, where they look at the movement being very fluid. So if you stand balancing tree, you're sometimes wobbling, whereas this just oscillates forwards and backwards, and it kind of engages your mind. And then there is the invitation, that it is only an invitation, that you can lift one foot and then the other foot. If that doesn't feel right, then go back to where you were. So it's a way of getting you into balance, but without really you being hugely aware of it. And you can be, if you're a young dancer, you will flick your leg right up. So you'll be very much more vigorous about it. But otherwise, we'll keep it low. And then this is a mind thing. So just bring your focus to only the front foot, the left foot. Almost the back you forget about. And just see how that sits with you. And then switch your focus to the back leg and forget about your front leg. Do you want me to look at the shoes?
Thank you. It's fine.
I think you were a little bit more, what's the word, organised than me. But it's raining so hard.
Thank you.
And then just, I think I said back foot only, just see how that affects your mind and which you prefer.
I'm less balanced on my back this time than this the last time we did this. Last time I was more balanced on my back.
So then we switch over to the other side. So you bring your front right foot forward and just explore. I've forgotten that we've done this before, so sorry.
No, that's all right. It's actually good because with my leg problem, this helps me focus, and I feel like it actually brings back some of my lack of nerve feelings.
It's not stressing the body too much, but it's just beginning to work into that awareness. And then it's optional to lift your leg up more and put it behind. And it's also optional to focus. It's, do you want the heating on? Just something.
That's all right.
To focus on the back foot. And then when you're ready, just bring the focus to the front foot only. And just come to oscillate forwards and backwards. And then just just come to stillness. And then come for the knee, might do it another way, but you almost need to hold on just to get the fluid in the knee. It's just almost swinging the leg. You can bend it slightly to just get the knee gently moving. And then just the ankle will be circling the ankle. But you can do it with the ankle off the ground one way and the other way. Or you can put the foot on the ground and just circle your heel, and that does the same thing. And it's just a preference. And just turn to the other side. And again, just swing the leg. It's just getting the movement, the fluid in the joint gently moving. And then just circling the ankle in one direction. And then circling the ankle in the other direction. If you want to keep your foot on the ground, just circle it one way. And then circle it the other way. And then just release. Another way to get vibration into the body is just by walking on the spot. And that, again, sets vibration up. It also helps to align your feet with the ground properly as I wobble off to the side. And then just build you up slightly and then just gently begin to move downwards. So one last thing for shoulders, which I'd be interested to see how you find. I've got the belt here. So the first thing is just to hold the belt, just bend your elbows. You can keep your elbows bent or straighten up, just whatever, and just subtly go from side to side. And holding the belt gives you support, feel that you can alter your grip. And then just release. So the next thing is really, I'll turn my back to you and you can see what I'm doing. Just lift an arm up. The aim is to get the elbow high and just pull up as little as much as you need to. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So there is an exercise where you hold your hands and that can stretch. This is a very nice training method and actually it gets you into the pose a little bit better and you can see it working. It's working on your shoulder. And then you will just release. Remember that the right one hand is up more, then you reverse it, which I find, I have to say, quite difficult on this aspect. I can't jump as high. You're meant to have your elbow up, not bending your head forward. So it's just a way of focus on the shoulder, but with the help. And then just release. And then the other thing that you can hold either hands behind or hands facing front and just lift up behind you a little bit. And then again that supports into that shoulder. And you could just slightly move from side to side. There are lots of variations. And then just release. Lift and roll your shoulders. And we'll leave the shoulders because I don't want to overwork them. I just wanted to show that there's some interesting things just to add that up. When you stretch across here, is it higher or is it slightly lower? Or is
It's
it
higher, it's almost like where it, kind of where the, you know how we have this bone that sticks out,
flat?
and it's kind of along this way.
Have you made any sudden movements or lifted anything or done anything?
No, just mostly been trying to stretch the shoulder. I've been doing lots of this movement at home, but that's it.
That you could be some bug, but often it's just you possibly just stretched it and you stretched across
Done
here
too much.
a little bit too much. And then the other thing that's very useful that you've done this is lifting and rolling your shoulders, clasping your hands and aiming that way. But it seems that's exactly what you've been doing.
Yes.
So that's also just slightly from side to side. You can roll forward, but that's really not the aim. It's just to open the shoulders. So come to some half salutes to the sun. Bring the hands to the heart centre. Soften the knees and circle the hands up to where it works for you. Clasp and reverse. And then palms together as you bend the knees. Come to slide the hands down to the shins. Press the hands into the shins, half lift. Lengthen from the tailbone to the top of the head, and then breathe out, soften the knees, bend in. Breathe in, half lift. And stay here as you breathe out. Soften the knees. Press the feet into the ground and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. And then circle the wrists up to where it worked. You don't have to go right up. And then circle the wrists down. Just open and close the fingers. Bring the hands to the heart centre. Soften the knees. Circle up. Just palms together this time. Come through the centre. Hands onto the shins. Half lift. Breathing out, bend in. Breathing in, half lift. And stay here as you breathe out. Breathe in, soften the knees, press the feet down, and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Wrists up and wrists down. And then another shoulder movement is just lift and drop. I don't know how useful it is to you. So just pick what works for you. And then both lift up and then both drop away. And then come to hands together. And we're going to come down to the mat. And before you come down, would you like a bolster? And how do you like cross-legged sitting, don't you?
Cross-legged is comfortable.
Is it?
Okay.
Okay. Do you want a bolster?
No, that's all right.
Okay. So come to cross-legged. And the part of the shoulders that we tend to forget about is that there's the neck, and the neck connects into the shoulders. And the neck represents stress and strain, slightly differently from the shoulders. It represents what you think doesn't necessarily translate to what you want to do. So you might say one thing and you don't necessarily mean that, or you're not very happy with. And so there is a stiffness also physically as we're typing or looking or whatever. So just being comfortable, hands on the knees. Just drop the chin to the chest. And roll the chin up to the right, say. You don't have to go very far. Your neck, your head will stop naturally. And then just drop your chin to the chest again, like a pendulum or a clock. And then draw your chin up to the other side. just a couple of times to each side. And then drop your chin to the chest. And then very gently lift your chin up to bring the head upright. And holding your knees, sit, lengthen your body, and then breathing out round your chin to your chest. Breathing in, sitting up to lengthen your body. Almost you could lift your chin up slightly, but with control. And then breathing out, chin to chest. So this becomes seated cat-cow. Just a couple of times. It's beginning to warm the spine up. The sitting up becomes extension. If you lift on up, it almost becomes a back bend. And then the chin to the chest becomes a forward bend. And coming to sit upright, tummy in. Just place your left hand on the ground and slide your left hand out. This time just bend your right elbow, chin to chest, and just almost focus on not opening downwards, but opening upwards. So you're not going to open very much. It's just a very light lateral stretch. Tummy in. As you press your left hand down and slide it towards your left hip and then come back up again. And then slide the right hand away from you. Bend at the left elbow, chin to chest. Just come over to the right. Open up a little bit. And then just come to press your hand down to the ground. Just come back up again. And then just support your knees. Stretch your legs out. Just bounce your legs, lift your flesh out from under your bottom. You need to rub your legs. And you can pat them as well. Just circle your ankles a couple of times, one way and the other. And then that rubbing, you mentioned shoulders, just really rub, pat, rub at the back. So you might not think this does a lot, but in some of the training for Salute to the Sun, they ask you to do one round with normal breathing, and then they get you to partner up and get someone to tap all the way around your back and your neck, your shoulders, all the way around here. And it loosens the muscles, those tight muscles, which are obviously tight. And it looks weird, but we did this for 10 to 15 minutes. And then we did a salute to the sun again. And every person did the entire salute to the sun on one breath only. So it increases your lung capacity, but there's nothing, to just really knuckles or fingertips or however, just to stretch out and to really nurture that area. And
years ago, I took some healing trainings, and we did a lot of this, the tapping, the rubbing, lots of vibration all over. And then once we partner up, and the part that you focus on your partner's back. And you've done with all of that. And then you just kind of go where you feel like the person needs work. And it almost definitely is the area that they're having issues with. Once you've done doing this to them, you just kind of feel, maybe where it's stiff or something. It's very interesting. Yeah.
Very interesting. Yes. So there is an Ayurvedic practice. I might do it at the end because it's something that Dave could do on you, and it's so easy and it loosens off either the leg or the shoulder or both. But let's just come to lying, and I'll come back to that at the end. So come to lying, and come to lie with your legs out, almost in Shavasana. To get your back straight, you might like to have your knees bent, feet on the floor, lift up the bottom just to straighten it out, and then just relax your legs along the ground. Palms down, toes up, and then toes slightly away, but not so much that you're giving yourself cramp. Just toes up and toes away. And then once more, circle the ankles in one direction. And then circle the ankles in the opposite direction. So when you next breathe in, extend your right heel, bend at your right elbow, and almost snake the right arm up. Depending on your shoulder capacity, you might just connect your backs of your hands to the floor a little bit above your head. Really might not be much at all. If you want to really stretch out your right under your arm, that's fine, just be comfortable. And then just relaxing as you breathe out, turn your head to the left. And there's no strain. Where your head naturally stops, that's where you stop. And just take an in and an out breath. The weight of the body and the head, where muscles tense around the neck and the shoulder all the way around, is being released because the body's not being asked to hold that. And so the muscles can begin to relax. But tense muscles take their time to relax. And when you're ready, bring your head back to the centre. And breathing out, really bend your right elbow just to relax your right arm down and let your right foot totally fall out to the side. And then when you're ready, just extend your left heel, left toes to the ceiling. Bending at the left elbow, raise the left arm above the head. Back of the left hand on the ground. Extend it as little or as much as you would like. As you roll your head, turn your head to the right. Your eyes can be open or closed. And feel the stretch under the arm, the upper the left arm. And this connects into your lymphatic system. So sometimes when our system's working hard, our immune system's being challenged, that can feel slightly sore underneath the arm. And then when you're ready to bring the head back to the centre, with an in-breath. And then when you're ready, on an out-breath, just very gently lower your left arm, just totally relax your left leg back out to the side. And then just bend your one knee and then the other knee. So you come back to knees up to the ceiling and feet on the floor. And just very gently start to sway the knees from side to side. Your hip will lift slightly off the ground. If you want a more massaging experience, you can bring your feet slightly wider towards the edge of the mat. It's to your comfort. And then when you've established the rhythm of your knees going from side to side, you optionally can start to move your head. Now your head, yogically, would move away from the direction of the knees, but in a much more therapeutic setting, just go with what feels nice. Doesn't matter. We're getting movement at the top and the base of the spine. And you don't have to move with your breath. You can choose to linger to one side
as well. Just really enjoying.
And then coming back to the centre and just checking it in now, this is an awareness check, on where your shoulders are. Are they where they should be, which is relaxed away from your ears? Is there any more space just to take your shoulders away from your ears? We tend to raise the shoulders up to the ears, though we don't realise it. So this is a very simple way, and if you're standing, the lifting and rolling the shoulders back sets the shoulders or aligns them as they're meant to be aligned. And then gently bend the left knee into the chest, keep the right foot where it is, and make adjustments, but just keep it where it is. Now this is the knee coming into the chest, very simple. And if you wanted to explore the hip, you can very subtly start to circle the left knee, holding it in your hands in one direction, and that circle can be absolutely tiny, or it can be quite large, but often less is more. Really exploring, it's both in the shoulders and the hips, they're rotational joints. And where we don't use them to their full extent, which is almost impossible as you're rotating it, the muscles can start to tense and contract a little bit. Because when you do use them, they open them out fully, they can feel a bit stiff afterwards because they're not used to that movement. They just very gently circle your left knee in the opposite direction. And then dropping your hands to hold underneath your left thigh to support it. Just gently raise your left leg up to the ceiling. You can keep a bend in the knee, but if you particularly want to stretch out, extend your left heel. Just go with what's comfortable. So this opens up the back of the leg. And then release that hold. You can still hold under the leg or bring your palms down to the floor and just begin to shake the leg. Again, you're creating that vibration. It can be a little shake or it can be almost a manic shake. It's shaking out energy, which is particularly also good, not just for your leg, but it's good for your energy, good for your knees and your joints, good for your ankle as well. Very simple way to generate energy on movement vibration. And comes again within the fluidity of movement in the dance aspect of yoga. And just bend the left knee to the chest and place the left foot on the floor. Just maybe sway your knees a little bit from side to side. And then when you're ready, make adjustments on your left foot, but essentially keeping it where it is. Hug the right knee into the chest. Just enjoy the hugging. So even though you're lying on your back, this is a semi-supported forward movement that's upside down on your back. So again, it becomes calming for the nervous system, but it's not putting your body under any stress particularly, or it shouldn't be. And then just very gently start to circle the right knee a few times in one direction. Creating a rotational movement in the hip. And just very gently circle the right knee in the opposite direction. And then, this is optional, to drop your hands to underneath your right thigh to support it. And very gently lift the right leg up towards the ceiling. You can keep a bend in your right knee if you need to, and then just extend the right heel if that's open to you. Just feel that stretch along the back of the right leg. And then you can still hold underneath your right leg, or if that doesn't work for you, let's bring your palms to the ground and just start to shake the right leg. Again, it can be a little bit, it can be a lot. And then just hug your right knee into the chest. And keep your right knee hugged in as you let the left knee join it. If you need space for your tongue, then just have the knees slightly wider apart, just to be comfortable, and just rock gently from side to side. You can rock right over onto the side, almost coming onto your elbow. Or you can keep the rocking a little bit less, more centralised. The back of the head is relaxed on the floor, so this becomes a massage at the back of the head. And just very gently come to the centre. Your knees are still hugged into your chest, and in your own time, very gently as you breathe in, raise the left leg towards the ceiling and the left arm up behind you. You can keep the knee and the elbow bent. So you can extend the left heel, that's all optional. Just go to where you're comfortable. Back of the hand doesn't even have to touch the ground. And then breathing out, just hug the left knee into the chest. Just take an in and out breath to relax. And when you're ready, the next time you breathe in, do the same on the right side. Right arm up behind you, right leg extends. You can bend both the knee and the elbow. You can stay here. And when you're ready, breathing out, hug the right knee back into the chest. And again, the left side in your own time, you choose how much you want to stretch by either the leg or the arm, and how long you want to linger. And when you're ready, hug the left knee into the chest. And again, on the right side, in your own time, stay. And then hug the knees into the chest. And with both knees hugged into the chest, think of your both knees as one unit, and start to circle both knees in one direction. And you'll find that you're then really beginning to focus both your mind and the weight of the body at the base of the spine, almost onto the sacral area, and how much you circle is up to you. And it's just a very nice massage at the base of the spine. And then very gently circle both knees in the opposite direction. And then just very gently either rock from side to side or hug the knees into the chest, still hold them, let them drift at arm's length. Or you can do a combination of both. It's just really stretching out the lower back. The hips, like the shoulders, you think everyone's the same, but they're not. Some people have their arms set in shallow into the hips, their arms shallow into their shoulder socket and shallow into the hips. Other people are more deep set. It really is at the angle that all makes a difference. And just just very gently let your feet go to the ground. So if you're both the shoulders and hips, this is an Ayurvedic practice. So I'll describe it for the video, but I'm going to demonstrate here. And describe so do it. So Lisa, you stay where you are. Don't make any movement at all, and just relax your legs out onto the ground wall. And Ayurveda has a very simple way of generating energy. So it invites you to take someone's, if you're doing the arm, to take someone's wrist and just very, very gently shake it. Like that. And it just almost loosens the wrist, the arm and the shoulder socket. And it's very hard to describe unless you have it done to you. So the person doing this almost comes and kneels, if that's all right. I just wanted to demonstrate this. You can remember this and David can do it to you. But so I'm taking, which is your better shoulder?
Left, but I'm not sure.
Left.
Side is more comfortable, yes.
So I'm going to start on the better shoulder first, and that is because just gets you into it. So you just relax. And just take your wrist and I just shake. So Dave could do that, one of your children could do that. They're just shaking. And you can do that quite some time, almost like a freeing off.
It's very comfortable.
So this, I don't know, the next one is just to pull slightly and go back. And pull and just go back. Just releases out the shoulder. And then to set the shoulder, I take your wrist, I'm going to come to your shoulder, I just literally put my hand over the shoulder. I don't need to press hard because that's can be counterintuitive. Just literally, it's an invitation to your shoulder to relax. Come under, and then I just run my hand down your arm. Place your hand, and you could alter it once I put it down. And I don't, if it were David, I would put my palm to your palm, and then just bring the hand off. But this, we're not on that basis, so therefore I just leave it there. And you can do that as often as you like. I'll do it on your back shoulder. It's some of the Ayurvedic Mama healing therapy. You're talking about working with a partner. So again, I'm kneeling, because we're not on the camera now. I'm taking your wrist, and I'm just very, very gently shaking it. It's almost I'm just pulling and shaking. Anybody can do it. It's so, I find it very relaxing. And then to finish, this is your bad shoulder. So I just put my hand just very low. You can put weight on it, but actually, especially if it's tender, you don't want to be putting weight. You just want to invite someone to relax. Once you go over the shoulder blade, then I can put some weight down as I run my hand down, and then just relax your hand down. You might want to move it afterwards. But I wanted to do that on your foot as well, and just to show you what it's like. And there are different variations of this. So I come to your feet, and let's just start with your ankle on this side. So I'm just going to connect my hands to either side of your ankle. Just connect my hands. You relax. I've got your leg completely, so I just get into. Now this gentle up and down movement is oscillating from the top of the head right to the foot. You just. And that's like pulling, like it did at the shoulder joint, gives the most infinitesimal space. When you're tense, you don't often, it just releases the muscle, just gives a little bit of space. That pulling people would get alarmed if I said pulling, but it's not even pulling, it's just the merest gentle oscillation. Now then, there are different things, but I just wanted to show you how people can finish off on that leg. So they then place the foot down. I'm going to come up to your knee. So it's again, it's with both hands, I come up to the knee, I go over the knee joint. You can see over the knee joint, I'm not going to put any weight on it, just very gently over. But then my fingers come to underneath your knee, in that crease. I half give a little bit of weight here, and then from here I'm going to give a bit more weight. And I just drag my fingers down the leg, and then release it down to there. I can also drag my fingers over your foot. It just goes on, and then of course you can just go into the foot. You can, I'm using my knuckles here to just knuckle into your sole of your foot and going up. So again, you've got, and I can go into each little part. So that's all optional. And then onto the other side. So when you're transferring, you don't just transfer, you almost like nurture one foot and the other. So I leave one foot and then I go on to the next foot. So this is your bad side. So if you're bad on your shoulder, your leg will be affected a little bit more. And again, if you just pick up your leg, I'm really supporting. Just tiny that, and then just into your hip, and then just tiny into the hip, tiny into the hip, tiny into the hip. Your body tells me where to go, because your body's telling me I've got a little bit more flex there, but I'm just guided by you. And then again, I gently support the foot to bring it back down. But then, against the knee, I go up the leg, over the knee, and then just draw my fingers down. And you can do that over and over again. You can go around the ankle joints because they are part of your lymphatic, lower lymphatic system, and you can go down the foot and go into the legs. You can do this at the head, just gently tucking your fingers under the head, under the occiput, and just pulling the head back. But then there's something else I wanted to do, because I think that David, your children, will be able to do this very nicely. So then I pick up both feet. For me to do that, I've got to come to kneel. You do nothing. I support your feet. So I'm bending like a, really bending. I kind of take both feet, and I just start to sway you. And I just pull you. And pulling, I perhaps need to revise my language, because it's not really, it's giving you a complete body movement up and down. And just again, it's a really balancing of energy throughout the body. And then you just very, very gently bring the body down. You can do that for ages. You can almost stand up and really swing your legs. And then you don't just, you either brush the energy off onto the ground like that, or you can brush down to the end of the feet to come off gradually, so that you're not doing a sudden brush off, if that makes sense. And then just come to relax. And come to just almost go through your body. So your feet, your toes, just bring your attention there and relax. Soles of the feet, tops of the feet, the ankles, the lower legs, shins and calves relax. Knees, backs of knees, thighs and backs of the thighs. Relax the hips, heavy on the ground. Relaxing the lower abdomen all the way through to the chest. Coming up. And then feel that you are spreading out across the collarbones. Your shoulders relaxed on the ground, they're away from the ears. And just mentally bring your thoughts down the tops of the arms, the forearms, relaxing the wrists, backs of the hands, palms, fingers. First finger, thumbs, and then the fingers all the way through to the little finger and the space beyond the fingers. And then bring your mind to the lower back, relaxing that. And then vertebra by vertebra, travel up and back. And when you get to your shoulder blades, just mentally feel the ground supporting you across the shoulders, shoulder blades relaxing down, letting all the tension float away. Backs of the neck, back of the head, the ears, the space between the ears, top of the head, forehead, across the eyebrows. Again, smoothing out your eyebrows all the way through to your cheekbones, down to your chin. Your jaw carries lots of tension, to the throat, up to the chin, lips. Coming back to the nose and under the nose. And as you take a breath in, your out breath, put into it anything that's not serving you today. That could be an emotion, it could be a physical aspect. Let it just float out either at the nose or through the feet. Just choose where to let that go. And then again, have a breath in. And once more, your out breath takes away anything that's not serving you today. And then again. Your out breath takes away anything that's not working for you today. And then, before we come to leave this practice, have a thought for either yourself or for someone close to you today. A wish for them, wishing them something well, happiness, health, joy, love, success. Because what you wish for other people is said, you receive that for yourself. And then let that thought go. And then just check in once again where your shoulders are, if they're more relaxed away from your ears. It's easier when you're lying down. At any time you want to check in on your shoulders, you can purposefully lift them up to your ears and then just relax them down away from your ears, just to release any tension in the shoulders. Reminder that shoulders are said to carry our responsibilities in life. All the things that we have to do. It can also, of course, relate physically to tension of working and looking, sitting down and looking at reading and looking at the computer. But there is an emotional aspect to the shoulders. And then just come to release, moving away from the practice. And coming to perhaps having your knees into your chest, or coming to however you need to come up to a seated position. If you're comfortable where you are, then just stay where you are. You don't feel that you have to hurry or come up